would be something that would be negative, something you shouldn't post?
Something inappropriate is like your email address.
Listening to these grade schoolers talk about staying safe online,
Your age, yes.
it sounds like they've really gotten the message.
Don't share where you live
They know to be wary.
because then they could track you down and then something bad may happen.
But if kids are so savvy, why are Seattle police so worried?
The number of cases we have just, they've grown astronomically. I mean, just in the 4 years that I have been doing this job, our numbers have just exploded, and they're going to continue to explode.
Seattle Police Captain Mike Edwards oversees Washington's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, running stings from small towns to big cities.
Get on the ground right now.
I mean, we'll basically just go on a search to see who out there is trying to make contact with children for the purpose of having sex with them. We'll get hundreds of responses. It doesn't matter where. Down in Vancouver, Seattle area, over in Spokane, Tri-Cities area, Kitsap County.
Body parts.
Yeah, people may ask you about sending pictures like that.
While most kids think they're too smart to fall for an online predator, the facts say otherwise.
No, they fall for it all the time. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the cases. We wouldn't end up with these, victims that are just getting abused, and it's horrific. I mean, this is the trauma that is caused on that child lives with them forever.
That's why SPD is taking a new tack, reaching out directly to kids with animated videos. Public service announcements, casting fictional characters based on real scenarios.
Hey, how's it going?
These videos open a window into ways online pedophiles perform their dark magic, showering kids with praise, empathizing with their adolescent angst.
Totally.
By the way, I think you are really pretty.
Thanks.
There are two versions aimed at kids from 8 to 18.
Hey guys, listen up. That animation you just watched isn't just a fantasy. When I was just 13 years old, I was groomed and lured from my home by an internet predator who kidnapped me and held me captive in his basement dungeon, where I was raped and beaten and tortured, chained to the floor by a locking dog collar.
Alicia Kozakiewicz's story may have happened in 2002, but it's never been more relevant. She was home with her family, chatting online with friends, when she got a message from a boy her age.
And what I didn't know was that this person immediately began to groom me. And grooming is very simple. It's just pretending to be a child's friend and telling them what they want to hear.
One night, Alicia walked out of her house to meet her new friend.
This is my neighborhood. I felt safe. And I walked up about a block or so. And if I turned around, I could still see my house.
Her online friend was no 13-year-old boy. He was 38-year-old Scott Tyree. Tyree threw her in the trunk and drove 5 hours to another state, holding her hostage for 4 days.
Just tried to stay alive, and this man, he was, I don't even want to call him a man, he was a monster.
It was only because Tyree streamed the horrific sexual abuse live on the internet that a man recognized Alicia from a missing children's poster and tipped off the FBI.
Police department, search warrant!
Who stormed the house and rescued her.
I can remember walking into a room and my parents were standing there, and my dad ran up to me first, and he gave me this hug. It meant that it was truly over, and that's what it was to me. I had been surrounded by law enforcement. They had weapons. I knew they would protect me, but nobody could protect me like my dad, and nobody would. And in that moment, I knew I was safe.
Alicia's story may feel too dark to even think about.
That really is one of the big barriers to the conversation. Parents don't want to think about it.
But Edwards is challenging parents to realize what they're handing their kids with every smartphone, tablet, and computer.
The apps that are out there, I mean, how many apps are social media capable apps? Even the ones that we would traditionally look at and say, well, no, that's not. I mean, really, a Word with Friends? That's not a social media app. Sure it is, because you connect with other people.
Internet predators track innocent-seeming apps looking for ways to befriend kids and gain their trust before moving them to a more personal site where they can ramp up the grooming process.
We're not here to scare people. I mean, that's not the point of this, because the fear factor tends to shut us down. Instead, what we're here to do is we're saying there's things you can do. There's ways you can have this conversation.
Conversations that are crucial, because today, at least 1 of every 7 children is contacted by an internet predator. Alicia is telling her painful story to warn kids. Her predator gets out of prison next year. The damage he did will last a lifetime.
I was rescued, and I got a second chance at life. So many kids don't get that. So many kids aren't as lucky as I was. Talk to a trusted adult. Go to law enforcement. They're there to help you. They're there to keep you safe. Never be afraid to go for help.
Watch CityStream Thursday nights at 7 on the Seattle channel, or get video on demand and podcasts anytime at seattlechannel.org.